Have you ever had a problem that was just too big and too difficult and too overwhelming to bother doing anything about anymore? You tried lots of different ways to deal with it, but nothing really worked, and you just kept going over and over and over, and you decided, that's it, I'm not going to try anymore. It made you feel fairly miserable or uncomfortable to live with the problem, but at least you know what's coming. Has anyone ever had that experience? Me too. And I learned a lot how to deal with those situations from this creature. This creature is actually a tiny bug, and he had a really big problem. He's a cold-blooded animal, which means that he's usually pretty lethargic, and it's fairly difficult for him to keep his body warm. As anyone who's a small person knows, you don't have all that many blood vessels, and it's hard to keep the whole body warm. And that's what happened to this bug. But he had a problem because his environment started to change. It got colder and colder, which made it more and more difficult for him to live. So this bug had a choice. He could stay in that environment and find a way to live, or he could say, oh, it's all too hard, I'm too miserable, I'll just give up. This bug decided that against all odds, even though it wasn't his nature, he would change. He discovered that if he stopped being lethargic and he moved a lot and travelled from leaf to leaf, he could keep his body warm. He also discovered that if he grouped together with lots of other bugs and they huddled, they could keep each other warm together. So this bug knows how to deal with those kind of problems. I'd like to talk with you today about my experiences in dealing with those kind of problems as well, that I've learned in my own life as a young widow, and also from talking with other women and from doing some research. I'd like to tell you that I was very bug-like in my progress and that I changed to my environment beautifully. I did not. The animal that was my role model looked more like this. Does anyone know what this is?
Sloth.
It's a sloth, and a sloth does pretty much or only what you see in that picture. Occasionally, he might come down out of the tree and lie on the ground, but that's about it. Before I talk with you about my journey from being a sloth to being a bug, I need to tell you my story first.